ThaiLawForum. Today I've come to meet Dwight Turner. Dwight is the founder of a charity called In Search of Sanuk, which provides food, shelter and education for needy families in Bangkok. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for coming.
Why don't you start by telling us, how did In Search of Sanuk get started?
Sure. I think probably like a lot of people, I came here and in addition to, outside of the work that I was doing, I came here as a teacher originally and wanted to this place kind of became my home, so I wanted to give back to my community, and that was when I started looking for places to volunteer and try to find something that I could give my energy to when I wasn't working. So I didn't find anything right off. I mean, I visited a few places, but they weren't really set up to host foreigners, and they didn't really know what to do with me. So eventually, it was something I always had hard to do. So eventually, when I found something that I thought needed more help, that's where I jumped in.
Okay. Well, how long have you been here for now?
I've been here about 8 years now.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's a long time.
Yeah, a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit more about what the organization does?
Sure. To put it simply, we provide support to people, particularly families that are here seeking asylum. So, and the biggest thing that we do is mostly nutritional support. Like we give stipends for food. We do food distribution. We have a small preschool and some classes that we run that are generally providing like hot lunch to these communities where because they're not able to work or because they're not able to get a job, it's a little bit precarious for them to support their families. So, and there's just a lot of people in that situation and not enough support for organizations that are here helping them.
Okay. Well, you mentioned the nutritional aspect. Is that sort of tied into this this wonderful thing you're doing called Courageous Kitchen?
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, I'm a big foodie. I love to eat, and as a result, it kind of breaks my heart to see people who don't really have enough food to eat. So that's kind of where the idea came from. I working in particular one community where it's a group of hill tribers, and they're used to living off the land, so they don't really have very strong cooking skills or traditions in general. Yeah.
What do they normally eat?
They boil a lot of things. Okay. They deep fry a lot of things. Right. And what I do is I come in and I teaching like the kids how to be safe in the kitchen, how to use knives, how not to use so much MSG. How to build flavor, little things like that. I mean, we occasionally get some chefs in to work with the kids, but we're not. It's not like Junior Chef or
little Master Chef.
Yeah, Master Chef. It's not like Junior Master Chef or anything like that. But the goal is one to push the kids to do something out of what they would normally do. Push them to be leaders. Push them to think under pressure, push them to make mistakes in a safe environment, and then that's one goal. And then the other goal is to introduce some healthier things, introduce them to vegetables and aromatics that they might not have in their home because their family can't afford it.
And this is all within Bangkok that you work?
Yeah, this is all within Bangkok.
Okay. Great. So I'm quite curious to know a little bit more about you, actually. Okay. You're from the States?
From Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay. Why did you came to be a teacher?
I came 2006, 2007 to be a teacher originally. I went back home to finish school, and because I was living in a different city, it was just the beginning of the recession. I didn't like my job options, and I thought, at least I can come back here and figure out what I want to do before jumping into a job that I think I'll be stuck in for a long time. So I decided to come back like late 2008, 2009. Ended up teaching again, which I wasn't thrilled to do, and eventually I kind of transitioned out of that to do more of what I'm doing today.
Okay. Was there something in particular about Thailand that brought you back here?
It was familiar because I spent a year here. I had a lot of friends here, and I didn't miss it while I was away. So it was a place that was easy to come back to, and of course, after that first year, I learned to speak a lot of the language. So that was another thing that made me feel comfortable in Thailand. So, and I love the food, so it was an easy decision.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, in terms of all the different things you do, I know you do lots of different things now, but is there any one thing that you can pinpoint and think, this is the most important thing I'm doing?
The most important thing I do is provide resources for people that don't really get much support. You know, there is a refugee crisis all over the world right now. We hear about it in the Mediterranean. We hear about it in the Middle East. You even hear about it in Europe. But people don't know that there are people fleeing, and they come to Bangkok because tourism is so big here. It's quite easy to get in.
Where are most of them from that come to Bangkok?
Right now, there's a giant crisis with Pakistani Christians coming here. You do have Syrians coming here. Pretty much any place that has some turmoil going on. We have people from as far away as Sudan, Ivory Coast. There's Somalis here. There's just not a lot of places with reasonable cost of living and easy to get a visa. That sort of situation. And also, it helps that the UNHCR, the High Commission on Refugees, is based in Bangkok.
Well, is it easy for them to get a visa here?
It's easy to intern on a tourist visa. Yeah, it's difficult to stay. Yes.
I see.
It's the same for foreigners.
Yeah.
If you don't have a work visa or something like that. This is what I was talking about my neighbors.
So in terms of coming to Thailand and starting a foundation, I mean, were there a lot of practical challenges that you came up against?
Legally, there are a ton of challenges. I mean, you need to have a certain amount of money in the bank. You need to have a Thai board. You need to have all of these. You need to have all your ducks in a row, and then some because of changes in the government. It's quite a difficult process. It's quite difficult to find the information to find out what is all that you need. What are the stipulations? How do you keep from running into any trouble? How do you report about your organization back to the government? It's complicated. So it's not easy for people. I think now that there are more people interested in this type of work and doing it, there is more information online, but it's still a challenge. So I was fortunate in that I had some Thai friends who were setting up a foundation already.
Okay.
And they were interested in the work that I was doing, so we kind of partnered to do that work. Yeah.
Right. Were there any particular challenges that you came up against and thought, "Oh, I wasn't expecting that"?
A lot. Probably too many to list here. I mean, Thailand is one of the cultures where there's a lot of uncertainty in daily life. Even the language, it leaves all of this room for ambiguity. So there's a lot of surprises, just in your everyday thing. Sometimes we show up to teach the kids and all the kids are gone, things like that.
Where have they gone?
They've gone off. There's, it's a holiday or it's something, some last minute thing, and nobody told me. So that's quite common here. I have teacher friends that show up to work and nobody's there. I forgot to mention it's a holiday, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And so, of course, you have that in daily life, and then you have that in the law. You have that in the hiring process. You have that in pretty much any aspect. It's hard to nail down what is the specific rule on this, what is the specific rule on that. There's a lot of gray. Yeah, unfortunately. So you learn to live with that.
Yes.
You learn to kind of go with the flow and not get too angry when things don't go your way, and they won't.
A bit of patience is required.
A bit of patience. Yeah.
Okay. So if anyone's wanting to find out more about you and maybe volunteer or donate, what can they do?
Sure. They can search my website, In Search of Sanuk. That's SANUK. That's the Thai word for fun. We are trying to do a lot of fun things. The biggest thing now is our Courageous Kitchen project. So they can also follow my food blog and YouTube channel, Bangkok Fatty, which is where I'm hoping to feature a lot of what we're doing in the kitchen with the kids. So some of the kids cooking and some of the recipes that we're trying to introduce to the kids, maybe even some of the work that we're doing to even get some organizations here to donate in terms of in-kind donations of food that would otherwise go bad, that type of thing. Some food rescue things.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So I'm transitioning to do. It's kind of a hybrid between my food blog and my charity work. I'm transitioning to kind of bring that to video so we can tell more people about what's happening.
Great. All right. Well, Dwight, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.